Number 5. Curtis Allgier. This man is a skinhead named Curtis Allgier, and he's being held in Kuna, Idaho for murdering Steven Anderson, a correctional officer. He's been committing crimes all the way from 1998 all the way to 2007. But he's serving time in prison right now. The only funny thing about him getting caught is how he got caught. He was standing in line at a fast food restaurant and got caught. He was later quoted by saying he thought he would blend in. Number 4. The Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer was a serial killer who performed his killings during the late 60s and early 70s. Even to this day, not a single person knows this man's identity. He would send cryptograms to the local Bay Area press, and many of these letters and little notes had many clues to certain details about his crimes. There was also a movie made about this man. You may have seen it. Number 3. Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, look who we have here. It's Jeffrey Dahmer. I hope many of you have the luxury of not knowing this man's story. It's just horrid. Anyways, Jeffrey was a serial killer and sex offender who raped, killed, and mutilated 17 boys during the time between 1978 and 1991. When he was sent to prison, apparently he would simulate dismembered limbs with his food and put ketchup on them to simulate blood during lunch. This enraged many of the inmates at his prison, and he was later beaten to death while being left alone with other inmates during a routine prison toilet cleaning. Number 2. Josef Mengele. Boy oh boy, this guy is quite the character. The stuff he did it's just horrible. I had to read about this guy for a school project once, and a family member of mine oversaw what I was reading over my shoulder and got quite upset. Mengele was the lead physician at Auschwitz, and if you know anything about World War II concentration camps, you know that that's bad. He personally selected victims to be sent into the gas chambers and did countless amounts of inhumane experiments on twins. One of them being throwing grenades into a room and then feeding them medicine afterwards to see if it was even efficient. He was quite the fanatic of performing experiments on twins because of the ability to have a control group. Number 1. Charles Manson. I'm sure many of you know who this man is. Here's a picture of him in 2014. I quite like the look he's sporting recently. Anyways, his name's Charles Manson, and he was found guilty on a whole slew of charges back in the 60s and 70s. The main one being guilty of conspiracy to murder. He was the leader of what was called the Manson family, and if you look at his history, this man is no rookie. Charles Manson believed in something called a helter-skelter, which was a scenario he had thought up, where there would be a race war. He wanted the murders he was found guilty of in conspiracy to be carried out to light the spark to this war. Pretty crazy stuff, isn't it? Well, believe it or not, it wasn't so far-fetched considering the situation at the time in the 60s and 70s.